Hello, everyone. Bront, CatHerder here. We're having some fun talking Raid Shadow Legends, and Raid dropped, within the past few hours, a What's Next in Raid video. It's good to see these things back. It was kind of expected at this point in time because we're expecting some news on the clan boss. I have watched maybe the first 30 seconds of it. There's already one thing I think is going to be really good in there, but let's go watch it together. I will say that Raid has kind of been on fire. Whether or not it's been they've lit themselves on fire and are trying to put it out, or they've actually been pretty hot lately, will really depend on who you ask, when you ask them, and what you're asking about. The Master of the Universe stuff has been pretty cool. The new Fusion's been pretty cool. The sale, that's kind of up in the air whether or not that's going to affect anybody. And obviously, some of the Hydra changes have definitely not been received very well. Even if many of us seem to think that the intentions were good, the execution has been poor, which, to be fair, is quite often what seems to happen with Raid. So let's take a look at this video, and let's take a look and see what we're doing here, what they are going to have, and, what kind of cool stuff we're going to see in Raid.
Hey everyone! The return of this legendary series has long been overdue, and we're thrilled to present a new episode at last. Welcome to What's Next in Raid. We've got a new expansion to Champion gear that'll add a whole new layer of customization.
More gear? Different gear? This will be interesting.
Live Arena reworks with the introduction of seasons.
This is something that I was talking with Papa Drock about, and I think several other content creators I've talked with, either on camera or off camera. This is going to be huge, and this is going to drive a lot of more interest in Live Arena, for the same reason that Platinum drives a little more interest than traditional Arena does for many people, because you compete, you finish, you start anew, and some people may drop off or may not, or may compete for a specific season or may not, but it gives you a little bit more of a way to weigh people. I've also got a video coming out soon, actually, with HWZ, where we talk a little bit about some endgame stuff. This would actually have fit perfectly in our discussion with that.
And some much requested quality of life updates.
Ooh.
We're talking background multi-battles, super raids for the campaign, and instant Hydra battles. And finally, a new challenge awaits.
Wait a second. So, battles in the background, that's interesting, and that could be helpful for phone users so you can actually hide it in the background. That's actually going to be good for the mobile community, because I know that's not really a big deal for the PC client, because you can just shrink it. Super raids in campaign, I guess that's interesting. Feels kind of odd, but I guess it will speed up some of your dailies if you're doing your dailies, although since all your dailies are odd numbers of runs, you're going to basically doing an extra run every time you're doing it, if that's what you want to do. I don't know. It doesn't sound too bad. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. That's at least something that could be helpful to some people.
It's all players, but we won't spoil it just yet. Watch this video to find out what it is. Now, let's get down to business. The first big feature we're showing off today is relics. These powerful new resources give you an insane amount of new customization options to suit how you play Raid.
Okay.
They can increase your champion's stats and provide abilities, new benefits that are similar to passive skills. For instance, a relic may grant a champion an emergency heal whenever their HP drops below 50%. It might enhance the efficiency of their turn meter manipulation skills, or it could enable a champion to place new and unique buffs. Sounds exciting, right?
Okay, I think I've actually seen this in another game or two, not games that I'm intimately familiar with, but I think the idea is that you'll have different levels of these that you can use, and certain champions can only use the equivalent levels of them, and then you can power these things up or upgrade them to customize them a bit. But yes, they're basically extra passive skills and a few extra stats. And definitely another interesting way to power creep a little bit, but also to give you more ways to customize your champions to do what you want to do with them. And I think that's actually kind of interesting, because some of these champions excel in multiple areas, and you have to kind of pick which one you want to build them for, which, this will kind of either lean into that worse, or perhaps help people that are keeping duplicates or triplicates or quads of a particular champion just because they want to use them in different areas, and therefore they're not going to be able to plus them Well, these extra relics let them customize them into those roles further, which could be very valuable as well. I think that's kind of cool. Well, we'll see what they say, though.
There's more, though. Each relic comes with a specific number of sockets, which you can put gemstones into. Gemstones offer further improvements to relics, adding passive abilities into the mix. There's a ton here, from mitigating incoming damage to a chance at hitting twice with a default skill when attacking enemies under crowd control debuffs, and so much more. Abilities from relics and passive abilities from gemstones will work together, so you can mix and match them to create bespoke champion combinations that suit your.
I'm just going to point this out here. There is a limit of 400 of them here. Whether or not that's going to be the actual limit, I don't know. But they're either not expecting you to have a ton of these things or not keep a ton of these things, which is interesting. However, it does also look like these are not things that you farm in the way that will be one is better than the other. But I could be wrong. But because I don't see symbols that are shared across them. So I don't see this red symbol here on this purple one or this yellow one or this blue one, for example. So the mythical ones may be mythical powered buffs, but you can't get a lesser buff, or maybe you could get a lesser buff on a rare, for example, or something like that. We'll take a look. We'll see.
Your playstyle. We want relics to open the door for awesome new team combinations that can take on Talaria's toughest challenges. So now you know why you're going to want relics. Here's some finer details.
Actually, I want to go back here just a second. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thought about too. So it looks like too that rares are 1 stars, epics are 2 stars, mythicals are 4 star, legendaries are 3 star, but it looks like you've got the socket type, which will limit what you can put in there, but you also have a number of sockets based on the rarity as well. Whether or not you can upgrade the rarity, I don't know. It looks like you can upgrade them somehow, but I don't know for sure. It'll be interesting.
Here's some finer details about how they work. Both relics and gemstones come in different rarities you're already familiar with: rare, epic, legendary, and mythical. However, gemstones will come in different shapes: circular, triangular, square, diamond, or pentagonal. A gemstone will only fit into a socket that is the same shape.
Leave it to Raid to give us a Sesame Street introduction on shapes. Good job, Raid.
You can't force a circular gemstone into a square socket. Relics are a little bit more complex in that they have a rank and level that can be upgraded to make the relic more powerful. But Raid, bro, how do we get them? Great question. The Forge will be your main source of relics, with crafting materials available in Live Arena, the Clan Shop, and other areas of the game. Each crafting material for relics belongs to a specific group and can be used to craft specific relics. Crafting relics will be different from crafting other gear, though. We wanted to keep up the customization, so we're allowing you to mix and match the crafting materials you use to craft relics. Mixing materials will affect the type and rarity of the relic you'll receive, and there's no limit to the rarity and type of materials you can combine when crafting relics. Keep an eye out for a dedicated guide coming soon where we'll go into more detail about crafting relics. Moving on. We're making some tweaks to Live Arena, starting with the introduction of Seasons, a rework of the gold tiers to give players a different type of challenge. Before you get to gold tier, though, we're increasing the amount of points you gain per victory in silver tier and decreasing the inactivity penalty to just 1 point per day. Once you hit gold tier, though, that's it. You're in the big leagues and can't drop out again. As for the changes, Live Arena Gold Tier is becoming a seasonal league.
Okay, so they already have you can't drop out of silver. Now you're not going to be able to drop out of gold, which is interesting. I suspect that what they're trying to do with that is they're trying to prevent people that have super powerful accounts from staying in silver indefinitely by making it super hard for them to stay in silver. So I know there are a lot of people that kind of complain that silver is really rough for them. And I understand that. I think that's a very, very, very valid problem. In fact, I agree sometimes because I run into that in my alt. But what this will create is eventually everyone will end up in gold anyway, so you're effectively just pushing up how much of a problem it is. The advantage of that, however, is the gold chests and the gold rewards are better than the silver rewards. So simply just playing in general in gold will get you better rewards than playing in silver. So from that end, it may ultimately feel better for people that are doing Live Arena. And if you don't like Live Arena, you're going to struggle to play it anyway.
There'll still be regular rewards like 2 new variable gear sets and materials to craft relics. details are thin on the ground right now, but you can expect a more detailed update highlights video in the future when we're
Note they said 2 variable relic sets, or variable artifact sets, I think. So variable artifact sets are the 9-piece sets. So we may have 2 additional new 9-piece sets, or they may roll Pinpoint into that. That would be actually pretty good because Pinpoint is definitely an arena focused, so it might be nice if it kind of hit the arena. It's a very good set, but it'd be nice to have a regular way to get it as opposed to the limited edition way so far. I don't know if people would be super upset with that or not because of all the energy they had to dump into the Odin dungeon, but at the same time, it's not like you're going to be able to farm these easily in Live Arena either. So the Odin dungeon gave you a jump start into having them, and then Live Arena would make them easier. We'll see.
ready to release this feature. Next up, we're talking about quality of life updates, and we're prioritizing feedback from the community to deliver a few things that should help you save time in Raid. The first feature we're working on is background multi-battles. With so much to do in Raid, we're giving you the option to run your multi-battles in the background while Raid is open. You'll be freed up to sort your artifacts, test out new gear combinations on your champions, and handle other account logistics. Off the back of that, we're also working on enabling super raids in the camp.
Okay. Apparently I was incorrect on what a background run is, and maybe I've just never used it on another game. That's kind of cool, because that would allow you to worry about doing your roll-ups, your gear cleanses, your summons, and stuff like that while Doom Tower is running. You could literally do something else while Doom Tower is running in the background, and I think that's actually kind of cool. Kind of an odd way to deal with it, but at the same time, that is a better time saver than it could have been otherwise, and still incentivizes you to make your teams better and faster, because it will still save time you have running something in the background.
Campaign. Imagine running Nightmare Stage 12-3 in the background with super raids enabled while getting your artifacts ready for your newly upgraded champions. Sweet, sweet synergy. Finally, we're working hard to bring instant battles to the Hydra. There's not much to say yet, but keep an eye on the news. We'll share something as soon as we can. And that's not all. We've also got a rework.
I know interest battles were instant battles or Hydra will be interesting. My only complaint about those is I think that those will encourage people to keep their keys very late in Hydra Clash and use them to snipe, especially if you can run an instant battle and reset the key repeatedly. So I wonder if they're going to limit, if you run an instant battle, whether or not you can reset the key or not. Obviously, it's going to need to be a full auto team as well. But we'll see what the impact of that is. You know, this is Polarium, so they may not quite pull it off well. We'll see.
Of the market, improvements to gear upgrading and auto selling, and more coming soon, so stay tuned. And now comes the time to meet the star of today's episode. Please welcome the one and only, the Chimera!
Yeah, we kind of knew that.
The Chimera is Talaria's third clan boss, and its den is a dangerous place for would-be heroes who go in search of treasure. First things first, this isn't anything like the Demon Lord or the Hydra clan boss fights. In fact, it's not like anything we've ever done before, but more on that later. Our hardworking artists and modelers spared no time or effort making this monster of mythical proportions come to life. They had to do 4 times the work too, as the Chimera has 4 forms it'll cycle through during the fight. There's the Ultimate form, the Ram form, the Lion form, and the Viper form. Each form comes with awesome visuals and its own set of unique skills which will require a special approach to handle. Here's how it works. The fight always begins with the Chimera in its ultimate form, and it will change forms every 5 turns on a preset rotation. You'll know exactly what's coming and when, so you can prepare accordingly. We also didn't want this fight to drag out, so after 65 boss turns, the Chimera will escape, ending the fight. What makes this fight really stand out against the other clan boss fights are the trials. Each of the Chimera's forms, except the ultimate form, has 9 unique trials that can be completed, broken down into 3 difficulties, easy, normal, and hard. You'll have to do different things to complete them, like placing a certain number of debuffs on the Chimera within a set number of turns, or dealing a set amount of damage using only poison and HP burn debuffs. There's 27 trials in total, and progress will not carry over between battles. You'll need to complete them in each fight. Beware though, the more trials you complete, the stronger the Chimera's ultimate form becomes. It'll start ignoring damage-reducing buffs and your champion's defenses. So be careful. If you can complete the trials and fend off the Ultimate Form's enhanced attacks, you'll net yourself some awesome extra rewards. You'll get special crafting materials that are needed to make high-rarity relics from the Chimera group, as well as gemstones and other goodies. That's on top of all the other rewards you'll get just for fighting the Chimera. Same as other clan boss fights, you'll get personal reward chests for dealing enough damage to the Chimera, which will be doubled if your clan gets it to 0 HP. We're also introducing the Chimera Clash to this new clan boss, which will work the same as the Hydra Clash. Oh.
Okay, so we're going to have the traditional clan boss chests, as well as a Chimera clan boss clash. Interesting. And as we can see here, look, there is mythical fragments for another free mythical fusion. Not unexpected. In fact, I think they dropped a video on that yesterday or maybe the day before. But that will be good as well. That will be a reason to do this for absolutely everybody. So I think that's kind of cool.
And there's also fragments for a brand new mythical champion up for grabs. As always, keep your eyes peeled for a dedicated video guide coming where we'll go into greater detail about the mechanics of this monstrous new challenge. Now, it wouldn't be a proper What's Next in Raid video if we didn't show off some of the incredible looking champions our artists have been working on. The holiday season is coming, and we're bringing Sir Nicholas's companion, Lady Noelle, into the fold. Don't get on her bad side, though. That kindly grandmother exterior only holds true if you've been nice all year. Bells the Reckoner will drop by the holiday celebrations as well, but be sure to watch your presence closely when Talaria's own version of...
That is an orc, by the way, because I can tell from the background there. So, interesting. It's actually good, because orcs could use some new, hopefully good legendaries.
Krampus is around. There are more champions to join them, and we have no doubt they will find a suitable place on your rosters. Whew, man, that was a lot to cover. Thanks for joining us, and we hope you're excited about these changes and updates coming to Raid in the near future. Don't forget to like the video, hit subscribe, and let us know what you think in the comments below.
Well, that is a lot of interesting information. There is a lot of new stuff here. I'm not sure if this is going to be called what would be the biggest patch in Raid, but relics will be a huge shift in what you can do with your champions. Hopefully the relics will be accessible for early mid-game players. Probably not going to be super accessible very early. And obviously the end-game players are definitely going to be farming those for quite a while to build them up. The new clan boss, I think, could be interesting. It's pretty much what a lot of us had theorized. If 4 forms, they announced all the forms. They gave kind of descriptions for some of them, but not complete descriptions, so I did not go over his kit entirely after the first Viper video. If you want me to go do that, I can certainly dig all that stuff and let me know below if you want me to do that. And I think that overall is some cool stuff. I'm excited for a lot of these quality of life updates. It's good to see that they are actually implementing some of these things. I think some of these will actually be helpful for people's time, particularly for people that have very limited time. The fact that you can run some of these just usual things that you might need to run in the background of the game while you do something else is kind of cool. And they're actually continuing to work on ways to make the in-game experience match what, you know, many of us with the PC have been able to do with the RSL helper that was done by Farbstoff. So I think this is really cool. I think there's all kinds of cool stuff in here, but let me know what you think. What do you think about this patch? Is this going to be enough to keep people around? Is this going to make people happy with all the changes that they're going to be making? Are any of these quality of life things you're looking forward to? Or is this, you know, really not enough and you're looking to still see more from Raid? So let me know down below. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate all the support you give me. You guys are awesome. Have a happy holiday. Have a great Turkeygeddon, or Thanksgiving as we used to call it. And I'll see you in the next video. I'm Bront CatHerder.